Hey guys, welcome back to the Joe Silverback Show. This is part 2 of being awake, being alert, consciousness. And as always, or often, frequently happens with me, I'll make a 15-minute video and then I'll walk away and say, yeah, that's very interesting, but you forgot all about this and this and this and that. So one of the things that dawned on me afterwards, and part of my story is that, the story of all of our lives is that, we are oftentimes just thinking about ourselves, and yet we are creatures of relationship, and most of us end up in monogamous, committed relationships. And as I was walking away from the video, I remembered what my mentor had taught me when I was married to my children's mother, which is that I needed to recognize her gifts to me, and that the more I recognized what she was bringing to me every single day, the greater the value would come to me. And in fact, that if you're not receiving much benefit from your partner, is a good chance that it has to do with forgetting to recognize him or her. There's other reasons for it too, but I'm talking now about those of us who have chosen someone and that someone has chosen us and we are in a committed monogamous relationship. So thankfulness, I've talked about this a lot because Martin talked to me about it a lot, and he stuck his finger in my face a lot. And I tell you again and again and again, these stories always have to be coming from somebody who has experienced this. And that's what wisdom is. It's experience and then passing on the experience as knowledge, and hopefully helping somebody else be able to gain experience through learning that knowledge and that wisdom. So one of the fingers pointing at my face, that I'm pointing into my face again because I still don't, do this very well, is developing the habit of showing recognition to our woman or to our man. So I've mentioned to you guys many, many times that most women in monogamous heterosexual relationships love to serve their men food. And I've been very blessed to have that twice now. And it's very interesting to me that Svetlana gains so much happiness when she sees that I'm happy from eating. Because she knows as a silverback, she knows as a wild bear, she knows as the bear man I am, that this wild primitive need to satisfy my hunger is connected to her. That's what she knows, and that's what she'll tell you. So this is not something I'm speaking on behalf of her for. I just watch it in her over and over and over again. So one of the things that I'm very cognizant about that I developed over, 2 decades of living with my children's mother before she passed away, was to really understand this desire of a woman to go to the farmers markets, to select the best foods, to constantly be asking, hey, would you like me to pick up this for you? Or hey, would you like, just today, I was doing my writing down at the seashore, and she asked me, I'm over by the farmer's market. And so, what do I need intuitively? What does my body need? I won't think about that, but my woman will think about that. And she'll think about me when she's thinking about that. So, there's a deep, deep awareness in me about this social bonding that females teach us in terms of what it means to take care of and give to their man. I have never seen this in a man to a woman. It doesn't mean that a man doesn't care for his woman. Martin, I told you, my mentor for 10 years was the most humble man I've ever met. He was the embodiment of love to me. He was the Buddha. He was Lao Tzu. He was all of the wise men put together. And one of the things that puzzled me when I was younger was when he told me that his wife taught him love. I've told you guys this before, that was a shocker to me, but women have something inside of them that makes them think about the other and think about caring for the other. And it's instinctual in them. It's part of their hardwired makeup and makes them different from us. So show deep appreciation for that. Show gratitude, show thanks. Don't get sappy or soupy. Don't BS anybody. Just simply say to your partner at any time, hey, I wanted just to recognize what you do for me. Now, the opposite is also true. Don't think you women, have one up on us guys. There's lots of things that we do for you, and you know it. And you appreciate it. Last night I was walking with Svetlana. We came back from the cinema, and it was about 10. It was a really quiet night. I said, hey, let's just go on a little stroll before we settle in for the night. So we just went on a 20-minute stroll, and it was windy down by the seashore. And she had on a light jacket, and I had on a light jacket. And I asked her if she wanted my jacket, and she, of course, said no because she thought about me. And she said, you need it. And I smiled and I said, I absolutely feel wonderful giving it to you and wrapping it around her petite little body that seems to always be colder than me. And I've disciplined myself about wanting to give my jacket to my woman since I was very, very young. And I really don't think anything about it other than this is a good way of me being a protector for my woman. There's multitudes of ways that I do that. We can be walking at nighttime and I can push her on the inside so that if anybody coming this way is going to cause trouble or bump into us, I am going to take the first line of defense between her and them. That's instinctual in me. That's my protective nature. Mothers do that with their children all the time, and men do that with their women all the time. It's very instinctual. One other thing. I was at the cinema that I was at last night. It was a very interesting movie. And the concept of valuing the masculine is what came up, because the movie was about this scared man, this man who was scared of the dark, this man who was scared of his own shadow, this man who was scared to stand up for himself at any given time in his life. And he was basically what you would consider a wimp, and then he got the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of thugs, and he decided to do something about it. And the film talked about masculinity, and we can't even say that in our culture anymore, how wonderful the masculine principle is. So I'm here to say it, how wonderful it is to have males that will stand up for their females, and males that will stand up for the children and the elderly and their females in times of danger, and men who will take the lead in taking some risk and putting themselves on the front line for protecting others. And a masculine principle that will drive forward when somebody else might not be interested in driving forward. And right now I'm talking about masculinity in men. I really don't care about masculinity in women right now. That's not of interest to me. Masculinity in men is their greatest strength. Does that mean that, as one of my fellow colleagues told me, that I shouldn't be more like my mother? Well, I told you so many times, we do learn from our women, but we can never be women. We do learn from them. and they do learn from us. They can never be us, and we can never be them, and we need to show recognition, praise, appreciation for what the other brings. So spend some time today finding 10 different things that your man or your woman do for you that you can recognize. Jot them down. And even if you tell them one of these things a day or one a week, watch what happens when you do tell your partner, hey, just matter-of-factly, nothing mushy-sappy, hey, I just wanted to tell you that I really appreciate when you do X, Y, Z for me. And see what happens. Namaste.